I just did a clip and it was 38 minutes. That was way too long. So here we go. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try and get it done in 10 minutes. So birth, see abandon. Natus venter. So natural, natus means to move. And venter, vent is something that carries, and terra is earth. Yeah. So then we'll come down to, where'd it go? We'll go up. So natus means to move, to rise. Basically like a nucleating element, the creation. Right, and then it says son, child there, expands on it, nati, natus. And then venter means from the stomach. So to rise, the dawn, the creation of something from the womb or stomach. So the rise or creation from the stomach that has been abandoned, right? So let's go to abandon. Abandon. Abandon meant is the mind. So contracts. In French law, the act by which a debtor surrenders his property for the benefit of the creditor. What? So when you abandon something, you're giving it to the creditor. All right. Bit weird. So you're probably saying, well, this is French law. It's got nothing to do with Australia. Right. Well, okay, so let's go to, I got rid of it. Damn it, I got rid of it. I'll go back. I'll find it. It's got to be there. No. So Sestico by Act. Yeah, the Sestico Act was done at 2 o'clock in the morning in an English-speaking country. It is French phrase of medieval English invention, which appears in the legal phrase Sestico. So why would they use French language to create an act so the people wouldn't know? So an English-speaking country, all diplomats speak French. It's a diplomatic language. So when the Freemasons started the Fire of London in their bakery, the King's Bakery, they basically killed everyone off and created the Sestico Act, which is what has created the birth certificate, right? And it's means proof of life. What does Sestico mean? I had it up here before, but I deleted it. Person which the person whose life measures the duration of an estate. So they killed everyone off, created the person, and it's basically an estate created. And what they do is they come in and they seize the estate. Right, so they go to war. All right. So now let's come back to abandon. So we've covered abandon, which means it's French law, which has been used in English-speaking countries. And we'll go to birth. The act of being wholly brought into the world. Now, world means time. Remember? An estate is measured. Ah, damn it. Where do we go? He who lives. Oh, I'll do over here. So Sestico is French for he who lives, a legal term for an individual who's beneficiary of a trust, an insurance policy with rights of property and income, profits. And okay, so where the going to go? New tabs, Chrome, Avalon Project. So we know now that the act of being wholly brought into the world, into time. So an estate is measured in time. Wholly must be detached from the mother in order to be for a birth to be complete. It seems unless the child be born alive, it is not properly a birth. It seems that unless the child be born alive, dead, it is not properly a birth, but a carriage. So if it's not, now we know that alive, I've got it here, birth meaning Google, female correct, there we go, female correct. So birth includes stillbirth. So if birth includes stillbirth and inclusio exclusio maxim, then a birth can only mean a stillbirth. And so therefore alive means dead. And while we're here, you've got Australia. Australia includes Norfolk Island, right? So they have no jurisdiction on tribal land. Let's get back to this. So we know that birth now means stillbirth. We know that born alive If it's not born alive, it's not a birth but a carriage. Born alive, where child, although it never cried, breathed, and its heart beat some minutes. So, although it never cried, although it never breathed, and its heart beat some minutes, it was born alive. So the placenta has a cord attached to it, and it beats, and then they cut it, but it doesn't have to breathe air, it doesn't have to cry, and it doesn't have to breathe air. So they're telling you it's the placenta. All right. So then we go to a child is a person, is a human being. This is what they say. So let's go to human being. This is Ballantyne's Law. This is used by the United States Federal Corporation. Human being is defined as follows: sea monster. So then you go to in English, when you say sea monster, that's the one you go to because that's the most accurate. And so they put in from the same dictionary, monster is defined a human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal. Now there's a lex mercatoria. All courts are under federal jurisdiction, and federal jurisdiction is oh, come on, Raya. Damn it. Oh, I've lost it. Avalon Project, Perth meaning, Fairfields. Oh, damn it, I had it. Anyway, so human being is a child, is a monster incapable of inheriting property. And let's go to custom, a usage which, so a monster, a prodigious birth, a human birth, or offspring not having the shape of mankind, which cannot be heir to any land. So we know that a human being is a monster, is a person, is a child. Let's go to custom, a usage which had acquired the force of law. It is, in fact, lex loci, which regulates all local property within its limits. So the state is a political subdivision. They're claiming jurisdiction over a geographical boundary, which is something completely separate. So the two entities are completely different. Geographical boundary and a political subdivision, or the government of New South Wales is a political subdivision, and then you have a geographical boundary. So lex loci, let's go to loci. And loci means a seat, rank, position, soldier's post, quarters, category. That's military. Okay, so the jurisdiction over the customary law over customs of a state is military. Well, that doesn't sound right. Military. How can the state be military? So military law, military jurisdiction is of two kinds. First, that which is conferred and defined by statute. What? Wait, federal government operates under statute only. It's called a creature of statute. And the second is that which is derived from the common law of war. So if you commit harm, injury, or loss, then you've gone to war or something, and you come under common law rules, which is federal lex mercatoria, because it's said to be, well, it is military law, but it's actually lex mercatoria. They commercialise you. And then so what happens is we don't have statutes in New South Wales. They do federally, or they claim to. So what they do is they have in English law, a gazette is a creation of an English government or by authority of the king. So Australia divested itself of, with the Australia Act of the UK illegally without a referendum, and then the UK had the Australia Act UK 1986 as well, which they claim they divested themselves without a referendum. And the Queen wasn't proclamated, so they can't do it. She wasn't coronated with the correct crown, with the imperial crown, and she wasn't coronated with the Stone of Destiny, so she's the Queen of nothing. So what they have is acts in New South Wales. Now, in New South Wales and federally, they'll claim that they have it's been gazetted. Well, no, you can only gazette it if you're an English government or with authority from the king if you're a colony. So they're not gazetted. Then it says locus sigliae, which only means location of seal. If it says locus sigliae, there's no seal there. It has to have a seal there over the top. And then it says Queen of Australia, which is not Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth as successors, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and other territories. So all their documents are fraudulent, incorrect styles, and so I've covered human being. I've covered I've covered Commonwealth. So Commonwealth. So Commonwealth defined legal meaning for public or common well or welfare. This cannot be regarded as a technical term of public law. Though often used in political science, it generally designates, when so employed, a Republican frame of government. So I'll simplify it. Commonwealth definition and legal meaning, when so employed, is a Republican frame of government. So when they had the referendum 6th November 1999, I feel like I've done this again. I'm not sure it was the second or third time. First time I deleted the whole clip because it was taking too long. But Commonwealth, we had a referendum 6th November 1999, and that was to either stay in the Commonwealth or become a republic. So basically, we had a referendum to see whether we stay in the Commonwealth or become a Commonwealth, or to stay in the Republic or become a Republic. And so when you demonstrate that you're incompetent, then they take over, and because it's all based on trust law, which is military law, and usufruct is what they're committing, which is again military law, and it's a war crime. And so what they're doing is, you demonstrated you're incompetent at law. So what they're doing is they no longer have referendums; they have plebiscites. Now, pleb in the military, plebeian is a retard in Roman law, and so that's what we used to call an idiot in the army. I hope I haven't done this twice in this one clip. I just can't remember. Now, how they do it is they go through and they change one word at a time. So, and God said, "Behold, I've given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is fruit of a tree yielding seed. You shall, to you, it shall be for meat." No, that's the incorrect translation. It actually says in Hebrew, shall be for food. Yeah, it doesn't mean for meat. What, to feed the meat, or for food, as in for use as food. So they've changed the Bible. Now, the Bible also said cannibosum, cinnamon and olive oil, and you turn it into a paste and you anoint people, and it cures epilepsy and resets disease and everything else. There's a guy on Cannabis Club Australia. He's got a hole in his neck the size of a golf ball, actually bigger. He takes cannabis oil for 3 months and the hole closes up, and there's no stitch marks or anything. It just reset itself. So I've done that. We've done Commonwealth, and we've done Ballantyne's Law, right? So human being is a monster incapable of inheriting property. Now, this is the problem. I've covered the Avalon Project. So statute is military law, and common law is military law. Birth meaning. What's it saying in Google? Bear. It doesn't even go back to past English, the word birth. Clearfield Trust Company v. the United States. So although the federal lex mercatoria, so all courts in local, district, supreme, family, and federal, high court, are all under federal law, although the federal law merchant. So they've turned you into corporations. I'll just do this real quick and then I'll end it. So they with FAFEINED words will make and many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken. No, that's not it. Where's KJV? Here we go. And through covetous shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. So feigned words means deceitful words, and they shall make merchandise of you. So we used to have minerals back in the 1980s. Now we have resources. We used to have men and women. Now we have human resources. What do they do? They made merchandise of you, right? Peter means earth. Peter comes from Petri, which in Greek means petrified, and in English is Pierre. Take the RE off and you get Pier, which means a stone dock. And Peter was known as Simon, one C, and Cephas, which is C force, PH is force. And so Peter is the dock, is the earth. It's merchant, right? So we know that the courts are operating and treating you as merchandise, as stock. So you have no rights. You're not entitled to anything. And this is Don Kelly's site, and she'll explain on her clips on YouTube that there is the corporate commonwealth and the non-corporate commonwealth. One's natural, one is artificial, and this is the corporate commonwealth. And this is Australian government as Treasury. This is copyrighted and trademarked, right? Which is not the government. It's not the Commonwealth. Documents relating to the registration of the SEC, the Australian government is a privately owned American company. Government sends to the level of mere private corporations to take on characteristics of mere private citizen when private, corporate, commercial paper, Federal Reserve notes and securities checks are concerned. For the purposes of suit, such corporations and individuals are regarded as entities entirely separate from government. Clearfield Trust Company v. the United States, 318 US 1942. What the Clearfield Doctrine says is that when that private commercial paper is used, governments lose its sovereignty status and become no different than a mere private corporation. As such, governments then become bound by the rules and laws that govern private corporations, which means if they intend to compel an individual to some specific performance based on its corporate statutes or corporate rules, then governments, like any private corporation, must be the holder in due course of a contract. So they have to have a contract with you, or other commercial agreements in between it and one whom demands for a specific performance be made. So whoever they make and perform, they have to have a contract. And further, the government must be willing to enter the contract or commercial agreement into evidence before trying to get the court to enforce its demands. So they can't do it. They don't have it. And so you put them in default. So remember, birth means stillbirth, inclusio, exclusio maxim. And Adam gave names to all the cattle and all the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found a help to meet for him, no partner. All right. So they named you. Now I want to cover the word name. Hopefully I can find it. He's pretty good, that guy. Okay, so name. My eyes playing up. You have to forgive me. Name from the Latin means nomen, an entry in a debt ledger. Right, so when they ask you for the name, the cops, they're asking for an entry in a debt ledger. You can find this in William Whitaker's words at Notre Dame University. So I told you the name is not what you give a living being. A name is an entry in a debt ledger. Right, this is William Whitaker's words, Latin translation. Right, and it's used by Notre Dame University. Now, an appellation is to bring to court, to call, address, solicit, appeal, appellation, to bring to court, accuse. So a name and an appellation. John Wayne used to say, people used to ask him his name, and he would say, I don't have a name, I go by a name. Go by, B-U-Y, buy and sell, sale, merchant law. Even he knew, right? Neo-Latin, uncommon. Practice, practicing magic, right? Appellation, drive to, move to, bring along, right? It's to force towards, using sound to move matter, right? People think, there's scientists proving that sound can make things levitate. Well, sound can make people move, right? You call someone the C word, watch them move. Call them the F word, watch them move. Sound moves matter. Put ashore, at, land, in brackets, ship. Yeah? Land means ship. It's in brackets, it's telling you. So planes land and ships land their property. So you don't stand on the land, you don't stand on the earth, you stand on the ground. Ships are measured in nautical miles, not over the earth, not over land, but over the ground. Why? Because the land is the ship. Anyway, I hope that was good, and I hope it wasn't too long. So birth means abandoned. It means something that's moved from the womb, and it's deceased. It's born alive. There's better clips on YouTube and Facebook about born alive, but that's essentially it. Showing you the Bible, showing you Scripture. The Bible is maritime law, because he who is out without God is without liberty. Liber means book, and T is the mark. Yeah, so they get you to William Whitaker's words. Here you go. So hopefully this one won't disappear as well, like Notre Dame out of Lexi Logos. So Lexi Logos is like a hub, and they had all these. You type it in, and you click on whichever dictionary you want to come from, and it would actually open up another page from that website. And anyway, so they removed it, and then I found William Whitaker's words. Just type in. I always love doing this. ATRI. I don't know why the other stuff keeps coming up every time I click on it, but Atri. Connected to the underworld, poisonous, spiteful. Roman house, auction room. Atrium. Atrium. Reception hall, Roman house. Just doesn't give you the route. Anyway, that's what I done. Hope you liked it.